The Sign of 4, 1890. Episode 3, The Murder at Pondicherry Lodge. Welcome back, detective friend. Last episode ended with our mysterious meeting at the Lyceum Theater, where Thaddeus Sholto revealed the shocking truth about Captain Morstan's death and promised to share his father's treasure with Mary. But tonight, our investigation takes a dark and deadly turn. Picture the scene. It's nearly midnight as your hansom cab rattles through the fog-shrouded streets of South London. Beside you sit Holmes, Watson, and Mary Morstan, all equally tense after Thaddeus Sholto's disturbing revelations. You're heading to Pondicherry Lodge in Upper Norwood, where Bartholomew Sholto, Thaddeus's twin brother, guards the Agra treasure. But something feels terribly wrong, detective friend. What warning signs might you be noticing as you approach this isolated mansion? Holmes breaks the silence. The fog is unusually thick tonight, perfect cover for someone with ill intentions. His voice carries an edge of concern that makes everyone more alert. Mary clutches her shawl tighter. Mr. Holmes, I still can't believe my father died so suddenly. And this treasure, it feels like blood money now. Miss Morstan, Watson says gently, your father was an honorable man caught in an impossible situation. The treasure rightfully belongs to you. As your cab turns onto the tree-lined drive of Pondicherry Lodge, you notice something immediately unsettling. What do you see, detective friend? The house is completely dark, not a single light in any window. For a man expecting visitors to collect a treasure worth hundreds of thousands of pounds, this seems odd. Holmes leans forward, his detective instincts fully engaged. Driver, stop here. We'll walk the rest of the way. But sir, the driver protests, it's a good 100 yards to the house. Exactly my point, Holmes replies cryptically. Detective friend, what might be our reason for approaching on foot rather than announcing our arrival with carriage wheels? Think about it. If something has gone wrong, would you want to advertise your presence? As you walk up the gravel path, Holmes suddenly grabs Watson's arm. Listen, do you hear that? You all strain your ears. Through the thick fog comes a sound that makes your blood run cold, a low, mournful howling, like some creature in distress. Good God, Watson whispers. What was that? Mary moves closer to you and Watson. It sounded almost human. What's your assessment, detective friend? Could that sound indicate someone in trouble, or might it be something else entirely? Holmes pulls out his lantern but keeps it shuttered. We proceed with extreme caution. Something is very wrong here. You reach the front door of Pondicherry Lodge, an imposing Victorian mansion with elaborate woodwork and stained glass panels. Holmes examines the door carefully with his magnifying glass. The lock hasn't been forced, he observes. But look here. He points to scratches around the keyhole. Someone with considerable skill has picked this lock recently. Watson checks his service revolver. Should we knock, or... Let's try the direct approach first, Holmes decides. He raps firmly on the door. Mr. Bartholomew Sholto, it's Sherlock Holmes. Your brother sent us. Silence. Dead, oppressive silence. Holmes tries the door handle. It turns easily. The door swings open with a prolonged creak that seems to echo through the entire house. What's going through your mind right now, detective friend? Are you prepared for what you might find inside? Stay close together, Holmes whispers as he finally opens his lantern. And Watson, keep that revolver ready. The entrance hall is magnificent but eerily quiet. Expensive Persian rugs, oil paintings of colonial India, elephant tusks and tiger skins, clear evidence of Major Sholto's years in the military. But dust particles dance in your lantern light, and there's a strange, sweet smell in the air. Holmes stops suddenly. Do you smell that? Watson, with his medical background, recognizes it immediately. Bitter almonds. Holmes, that's prussic acid. Holmes finishes grimly. Hydrogen cyanide. Someone has been poisoned here. Mary gasps and grabs your arm. The reality of danger is becoming unmistakable. What would be your first priority now, detective friend? Ensure everyone's safety, search for Bartholomew, or examine the scene for clues? Holmes makes the decision for you. We need to find Bartholomew Sholto immediately, but stay together, and don't touch anything unnecessarily. You climb the grand staircase, your footsteps muffled by thick carpeting. The sweet, deadly scent grows stronger with each step. At the top of the stairs, Holmes pauses before a heavy oak door marked with an elaborate brass nameplate. B. Sholto, Private Laboratory. The door is locked, but Holmes produces his lockpicks with practiced efficiency. Within moments, the door swings open. The sight that greets you is something you'll never forget, detective friend. Bartholomew Sholto sits in a chair before his chemical apparatus, but he'll never conduct another experiment. His face is twisted in an expression of horror and agony, his skin bearing the telltale cherry-red color of cyanide poisoning. On the table before him lies an open wooden chest, completely empty. The Agra treasure, Watson breathes. It's gone. But Holmes is already examining the scene with his magnifying glass. Watson, detective friend, look at this. He points to a small thorn embedded in Bartholomew's neck, just behind the ear. It's barely visible, no larger than a rose thorn. This is no suicide or accidental poisoning, Holmes declares. Bartholomew Sholto has been murdered, and by someone with very exotic methods. Mary stares in horrified fascination. But who would do such a thing, and how did they get the treasure? What's your theory, detective friend? How might someone have entered a locked room, murdered its occupant with a poisoned thorn, and escaped with a treasure chest? Holmes continues his examination. The window is open and there are footprints on the sill. Small feet, unusually small. And look here. He shows you a muddy footprint on the carpet. Bare feet with the toes spread wide. This is not a European foot. You mean, Watson begins. I mean we're dealing with someone from a very different culture. Someone skilled in methods of silent killing unknown to most Londoners. Suddenly, from somewhere in the house, you hear that eerie howling sound again. But now it's closer, and more desperate. Holmes's eyes light up with understanding. Of course. Watson, detective friend. We need to check the grounds immediately. I believe we have a witness to this crime. What kind of witness do you think Holmes means? And how might this witness help solve the case? As you prepare to leave the death chamber, Holmes points out one final crucial detail. Notice the position of the body. Bartholomew didn't see his attacker coming. He was focused on his chemical work when the poisoned dart struck. This suggests someone with the ability to move silently, someone trained in stealth. Mary shudders. So we're dealing with an assassin? Indeed, Holmes confirms. But every assassin makes mistakes, and this one has left us several clues to follow. What clues do you think Holmes has identified, detective friend? And are you ready to help track down a killer who uses methods more suited to the jungles of India than the streets of London? Outside in the fog-shrouded garden, that mournful howling continues. Someone, or something, is trying to tell you what happened here tonight. The game has become deadly serious, and the real chase is about to begin.